Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast.
Hello.
I know it's been a little bit, but Zori is back for her summer break.
Yes.
So we're going to do a little bit of a catch up from our last pods that were months ago in the winter.
Yes. Okay, so catch up. I was under the impression that we hadn't even talked about our New Year's things, but let's revamp and I guess check in since we're halfway through the year.
Yes.
Okay, did you have a word of the year or no?
I don't remember if I picked one. I know I always struggle with picking one.
Yeah.
You're the one that's really good with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
But I may have, picked one, but honestly, now that I can't
What was your vibe?
It wasn't.
Do you remember that?
I feel like it was kind of the Yes Ma'am vibe, but also that could have been one from last year as well.
I mean, honestly, sometimes they carry over.
Yeah.
Mine was casual in the way that I just wanted to be casual about everything when it came to studying, when it came to working out. Instead of overthinking it and trying to make it such a huge thing, I just wanted to do it and not think about it. If I'm there and I have 10 minutes, do a workout. If I'm there and I have 6 minutes, do 100 squats. Literally just quickly moving things in. If I have an hour between classes, just review what I did about the other class, but don't make it this huge pressure situation. I just wanted to be casual about everything. That was about working out in school, but also just kind of about life in general. I wanted to this last year has been study, and then before that it was moving, and so now I'm I just want to relax, be as chill as possible. I'm still going to be studying a whole lot, but I want to just be casual. So that was my word of the year. But then a little bit into the year and kind of as I was making my vision board, I added a word, and I've never really had two words for the year, but I added analog to it because I was I just want to stop doing everything. I mean, obviously everything's going to be technological, but the idea with analog is to kind of go back to some things that I have done before, or to just do more stuff that's not online. And even if it technically is online, doing more things that don't involve scrolling. So with analog, a board game night. Talking with friends.
I love a good board game
literally
night.
Just talking with friends. I've done that a couple times this year where it's literally we're all together and we're literally just talking, drinking wine, eating chips and guac or something.
Yeah.
And it's nobody's on their phone. And it's not that's a rule that's in place. It just naturally we're not on our phones because we're having such a good conversation. Yeah, like I said, board games, less not that it's a bad thing either, but not just fully just getting together to watch something, but getting together to actually just hang out and do something together. Analog, wanted to make more playlists. So for example, that's something that's on my phone, so it's not technically analog, but making playlists and trying to discover new music is something that feels very vintage, analog, whatever. And also in the sense of just doing anything from the early 2000s. Style wise, I've just been trying to kind of be more early 2000s as well. Still secondhand clothes, so getting them from Depop and stuff like that. Other example of analog, I wanted to have a music exchange night with a friend, where we literally just hang out and trade music.
That's fun.
Recs, where I was that seems I really, the idea with analog was get into the mind of somebody living in the 90s,
right,
and do those activities.
That's fun.
Hiking, even things like that. So I was how can I make things feel vintage again, because they really fucking don't. Books, reading books, or going to the public library. I've been trying to just de-tech a little, because everything is just so, I feel I'm drowning in information. And also writing on Substack. I haven't done it since I've been here, but I had a plan to write about my first year in grad school and my opinions on being there, because it low-key feels I'm undercover sometimes.
Okay.
Because I'm a very artsy person that's in a very it's not even a very scientific field. My field specifically is it is kind of artistic, but the classes that you have to take to be in it are very scientific.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes I feel amongst all these crazy academic people that are trying to get straight A's all the time, I feel like a black sheep.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, okay, like, are we gonna have fun? Are we gonna be silly and goofy, or what? Like, nobody's having fun. Everyone's so clenched. So yeah, I wanted to write about that, more creative writing. So, and journaling. I started journaling again.
Oh.
Not super often, but I'm trying to force myself to, like, if I think about my journal, to write in it, basically.
Yeah.
And, like, not put a lot of pressure on that either. But literally just write, like, I think one day I was so annoyed, and I literally was like, I'm just gonna write in my journal about it. And I opened up my journal, and I was like, fuck this shit.
Right.
Like, hate this, like, whatever.
Well, do you remember that's what we did as kids?
Yeah.
Like,
no, literally.
we had, like, a secret journal, and we'd write
That's my
down
point with analog.
Yeah.
Because even at a point, like, journaling felt performative, where I was like, today I did blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm like, no, bring back just, like, cussing a bitch out through your journal.
Right.
Like, that's what I was trying to...
The burn book.
So, no, literally the burn book. Like, I'm annoyed because of X, Y, and Z, and everybody can suck it. And you know how much better I felt after? I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's great. So, yeah, long story short, that's kind of what I mean by analog. Just, like, bringing back the 90s, like, vibe of everything and making it more, like, intentional. And so analog and casual, and then overall my vision board ended up being very, like, silly and fun and whimsical, and, like, it just has, like, lighthearted energy, and I'm like, that's exactly what I needed. And it kind of happened on accident, but it's so funny because the year before, my vision board was like, we're gonna go to school, and we're gonna move, and I might do this, and I might do that, and now I'm like, I just want to laugh.
Right, so what's on your vision board now?
Literally, it's so hard to explain because it's just like social events, and like a little bit more chiropractic, and then ASMR because of my channel, and board games. Like I said, like there's this one picture on my vision board, and you know the girl that I always say, like, I watch hers every year. It's so funny because I made mine actually before her video came out really late this year. Watched her video, and we have one of our pictures is exactly the same. Really? I was like, there's no fucking way.
That's funny.
I was like, that's iconic. It's this picture of what is her fucking name? Julia Roberts.
Okay.
And she's like in a bathtub with bubbles, and like she has this huge smile on her face. And I'm like, that is the vibe that I'm trying to bring to the function. Just like silly and fun, and like being myself and not being so fucking serious all the time, and remembering that like it's not that deep. Like nothing is that deep, and you can just still have fun. So that's what mine looks like. Did you end up, you said you didn't make a vision board, or you did?
I kept mine from last year because most of the stuff on my vision board was a longer term
vision board,
yeah. I had a bunch of quotes on there that I look at to remind myself. There may have been a few that were short term, but most of them are like long term.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I really liked how my vision board looked. It was cute. But I think I have room to add some stuff.
Yeah,
for the
so
year.
what is the vibe of it again? Like, of your vision board? Like, what's on it?
I have a lot of quotes, and then I have a picture of like a bunch of girls dancing around.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's around a fire, but it's just very friendshipy stuff. I had, I think, a really pretty dress on there. Okay. Like, just to be reminded that I like to dress up and to keep, figure out my style and look. What else did I have on there? I think I had a passport on there.
Oh, right.
For traveling. I had I think a few different travel things on there. And then, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Quotes, travel stuff, outfits, stuff with friends.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All the good stuff. Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. So, 6 months in, I feel like the year just started, to be honest. Yeah. Like, I feel like I know. I feel like literally, because to me, the year does not like start until I would say April is when it begins.
Yeah.
And that's even then is like April is the transition month, and like May is like the first month of the year in my head.
Yeah.
And I know that might sound crazy to like a lot of people, but like,
well, isn't the Chinese New Year later?
I think it's
in like
seasonally. That's when the new year starts to me, because I'm like, we're still in winter when the year begins, and so we're still in like the dead season where we're not yet regrowing, and once the greenery starts to come back, I'm like, okay, well, we're in the beginning of the year. So to me, we're about like 1 month into the year, even though we're like 6 months in. So really, I feel like everything on my vision board is just about to like be in flow. I've like been putting everything like in place to let it flourish, but I feel like now it can flourish, which is like the whole point of the season, right? You have the dead things, and then spring comes and everything starts to sprout, and then summer comes and everything's blooming.
Yes.
And then you have the death and, you know, whatever. So I live my life very, very seasonally. So I think that checks out for me. So it does feel like the year just started. But so far, yeah, it is feeling very like silly and fun.
Okay, wait. And you know what just hit me on why I feel like this full moon is so chaotic?
Why?
We just entered Mercury in retrograde.
Did we?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So there is a full moon with Mercury in retrograde, which makes it so like intensely
Ew, don't tell me that. This
like,
is gonna be bad.
Wait, look at. Oh wait, we can't look it up here. You can look it up on here. Oh my god.
It was like a couple months ago though.
Now
Like
I
had
kind of know the lore of like full moon Mercury in retrograde. Like, I
had multiple friends. Like I had one friend go and she was in the hospital for a while, and then there was finals, and then I lost my like kind of my trip home. So like I told you, like I had to, because my friend was in the hospital and we were gonna come home together. So I lost that, and then I lost an AirPod. Still can't find it. It's in my room. Like don't know where it is.
I think it just started, but the pre-shadow goes like...
But I remember being like... No, it did just start, because I remember being like, is Mercury doing the renegade? And then that's what I always say when I think that.
That's so funny.
I'm like, what's happening? And I looked it up and it was like, no, there's no Mercury retrograde. I was like,
great.
I
looked it
up. What the fuck is happening right now? Okay, so strawberry... I'm looking up... I can't spell strawberry. Strawberry.
Well, isn't there sometimes other retrogrades with other planets?
Yeah, like, but I think...
But they're not
strawberry
bad,
moon,
like Mercury is.
Mercury retrograde. Okay, strawberry moon and Mercury retrograde. The strawberry moon, the first full moon of the summer, coincides directly with major Mercury retrograde. This overlapping cosmic energy creates a powerful astrological window focused on reflection, emotional release, and revising past patterns.
No
like, shut up, bro.
That's insane.
Mercury retrograde running from June 29th to July 23rd in the water sign of Cancer. Yeah, that's a lot.
Holy
That's a lot of energy. This period is renowned for bringing up the past, reviving old projects, and triggering communication and travel delays. Okay. This full moon peaks in Capricorn. As a sign known for practicality, Capricorn pushes you to assess the fruits of your labor, celebrate what's actually working, and release heavy emotional baggage. What to expect and how to navigate heightened emotions. Because the full moon highlights Capricorn and the retrograde dominates Cancer, you may feel torn between your practical goals and your deepest feelings.
Wow.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
The re-phase. Use the retrograde energy to review, reassess, and revisit rather than forcing new beginnings. Expect hiccups. Double check text messages, plan for extra travel time, and be prepared for familiar faces from the past to unexpectedly reappear.
Holy shit.
The best practices for this period: tackle unfinished business. I feel like this energy was so strong that it started before it actually started.
Yes.
Like that's how I feel. That's what I feel
that as well.
Best practices for this period: tackle unfinished business. It's a great time to finally get closure on old issues rather than sweeping them under the rug. Practice grounding. The Capricorn moon emphasizes being pragmatic. Write out your goals and make concrete plans to discard habits and drain your time and energy. Double check details. Rely on a time zone converter to keep all your meetings straight. Your triple check your flight and train itineraries while you're traveling. Okay, I'm gonna have to lock in.
Lock in.
If you want to dive deeper into how this will affect you, what's your zodiac sign, da-da-da.
Ooh.
So, okay, it says ask anything. So, okay, Virgo and Scorpio. Let's see what it says. No.
What, like together?
Yeah,
like...
it literally was like, as a couple, Virgo and Scorpio. How full moon affects Virgo. How this
full
moon affects Virgo.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do one at a time because it can't handle double questions apparently. Okay, the strawberry full moon in Capricorn hits your chart in a surprisingly lighthearted way.
Oh, don't feel that.
That's not. Okay. Shifting your focus entirely towards romance, creativity, joy, and self-expression, while other sides are dealing with heavy emotional weight. This feels wrong.
What is it,
one Abram. Yeah, it is. However, because your ruling planet Mercury is simultaneously spinning retrograde, this cosmic cocktail brings a specific twist in your life. So a revival in romance and passions. It must be because of your other, like, your whole placement. It just can't do all of everything, which is so irritating. Like
here's my birth time in chart.
No, literally, like, and it's Google Gemini. Like, I don't even fucking trust it. But I'm not even gonna bother with mine. But yeah, I guess that's the tea on that.
Yeah, it just hit me. I was like, oh, I think that this is happening at the same time.
Yeah. But speaking of relationships, we wanted to combine this episode with a conversation that we were having last night about relationships, which is great. I know we always we'll talk off pod and be like, oh my god, we should have saved this for the pod, but it was really just me talking a whole bunch. So now that we've both talked about it and you've got to hear what I had to say, you can also say what you think about it. So what were we talking about? I was talking about, I kind of have my theory that I feel like there's two overarching types of relationships, and most people don't realize it, but there's two kinds of relationships, and that's why some people just don't mesh well together, because some people are looking for one and while other people are looking for the other. But everybody thinks they're looking for the same thing when it comes to love and relationships, but there's two different ones. So just to give a brief history, very brief and very loose, but you can do your own research on this. In the past, I'm talking 50s, not even that far back, but even farther back, it's only recently that modern relationships have really obviously become a thing. I would say maybe 90s, 2000s, 80s even. But before that, marriage was an exchange of property. So the idea with that is that and this obviously came about because women did not have anything. They didn't have rights to vote. They didn't have bank accounts because they didn't have rights to have bank accounts. They didn't have jobs because they didn't have rights to go to school, to get education, to get jobs. So literally women were property of men. So in that case, when it's time for you to get married, your father is exchanging property with another man. And if you have never thought about this, this is where all the traditions in marriage come from. This is where the man goes to it's now the women's parents, but traditionally it would be the dad, because it's a business deal with the father. And so the father decides this woman that I own, my daughter, I have to now pass her on to somebody else that can now take care of her because she's an adult, whatever.
Right.
So it's an exchange of property, the woman being the property. Do with that information what you will. It's a little bit disturbing, but genuinely, they needed somebody because they didn't have anything. So in that, obviously, you're choosing a man that's you're not really necessarily looking for who's she the most in love with. It's who's going to take care of her the best. So in that way, it's kind of like arranged marriages. I know a lot of people look down on arranged marriages in other countries, but we honestly did something very similar here. We were kind of looking more for chemistry a little bit, but overarchingly, it's can you provide? Can you whatever? And if you're thinking to yourself, that's what I'm looking for, what's wrong with that. There's not anything wrong with that, but overarchingly, if you're looking for somebody who can provide you the best might not be the person that you love the most. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a weird thing there. So this is the first type of relationship that I'm talking about, and this is the traditional relationship, which is, without a better way to say it, transactional.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are still in those relationships without realizing that they are, and they're convinced that they're like, oh no, like I'm in love. But I think that's why the divorce rate kind of goes up, because I think a lot of people who were getting married traditionally were like, this looks good on paper. But something we all know is that just because it looks good on paper does not mean it feels good in real life. Like,
right.
So that's the first type. And then, in my opinion, the second type of relationship is a partnership, and that's more modern. And I think that's why we see, like, I feel like in the past people would refer to each other as partner in gay relationships only.
Yeah.
But more recently, it's been kind of like everybody being like, oh, this is my partner. And it's like, oh, why? And I think that can't, I like was asking myself, I was like, why did that come about? Like, why are people saying that? And I feel like it's a different type of relationship. It's not like, this is just my wife or this is just my husband. Like, this is literally the person I am living with and being with for the rest of my life. And I know they kind of sound like the same thing, but they are completely different. In a partnership, it's not about a man who can provide for a woman or anybody that can provide for anybody else. It's more about what two people individually who are whole individually and can provide for themselves individually can come together and do together. And they're choosing to do that together because they genuinely love each other so much. So it would be something more of like, instead of the traditional like, woman cooks, cleans, house, raise children, man goes to work, comes back, gives her the credit card. It is something like, oh, we both have our own things that we're doing, which is pretty modern. Like, I think even in a traditional marriage, like now most people, both people have a job. Right. But I think it's still a little bit more gender rolled in the way that the guy's bringing the most amount of money and then the woman's kind of just doing like a menial, like whatever MLM type thing. But in a partnership, it would be more like everybody has their own thing that they're doing, and then together they might even still have separate bank accounts. Like, they don't join their bank accounts, but they both provide in different ways. Like, this week I'm making the food and you're cleaning the dishes, and then, you know, we both participate in cleaning the house, but you clean the bathroom and then I take the trash out or whatever. So I think it's more of like genuinely a friendship that is also a romantic relationship. Yes. In a partnership. Whereas the other one is more of a transactional whatever. And I say transactional, and I know a lot of people are in these relationships and they probably don't feel that they're transactional, but you have to ask yourself why you picked the person that you picked. And I feel like that kind of brings it down. So I said a bunch of this last night, and there's a lot more to say, but I want to stop and like let you say what you think about it.
Yeah, so I feel like that's why our generation is struggling a lot, is because now we're trying to make all of the chemistry, but also, can you provide, can you do this? So like, we're taking the old, what they just did by the arranged marriage, but now we're also being picky, and we're like,
you're right,
no, we like, so we're being picky now. And it's adding to, like, we want that, but we also don't want to settle. Yeah. And we want someone with chemistry as well. I didn't even think
about that, but I think that's why we're struggling so much. Because they are like, oh, the marriage rate's going down. Like, why? And I'm like, that has to be like why. Because now we want both.
Right.
Which is ideal. I mean, obviously it's ideal if you have, but I think overarchingly it's ideal if you don't have, I think it's kind of outdated to think that, like one person is solely dependent on another.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't be comfortable with that.
No.
There's a difference. Like, there's, like, a lot of people are like, oh, people shame people for being, like, trad wives, but, like, if you're a feminist, you should allow women to do whatever. And I think that's true. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mom, and that's your job. Like, that is a full-time fucking job. if you have a man that's providing for you. I think that there's a problem with not having any of your own money and being like solely dependent on somebody else, because you never know what's going to happen. And that happens to a lot of people. Do you know how many people I know where they're saying, or like, not know personally, but like I've heard stories of like, you know, because people are like, oh, there's nothing wrong with like fully depending on a man. And it's like, outside of the fact that one, it's an abuse of power that he could take advantage of. Exactly. Not all of them will, but the ones who don't, they could die any day. And if they were the only one bringing home a paycheck and you don't have any skills now, you're literally cooked. Right. Like, there's nothing you can do. And that can happen any day at any time. So it's like, if you don't have anything of your own to provide, like, that's a scary situation regardless of if you have a good man or not. Yep. A good man can die any day of the week. Like, and then if you have nothing to fall back on, you're screwed. So I just don't think it's, and that happened a lot in like the 50s and like early 1900s, where people, if they had a man that died, like, they were now like under like, what am I trying to look for, like socioeconomically, like an under a tax bracket. So they go from being like middle class to like low class, like, you know what I mean, all overnight, because this man died. And I mean, I know people have like life insurance and stuff like that, but like, genuinely, if that was the only person bringing in money, that's still gonna shake up your whole world.
Okay, so now also another struggle in our day and age with that is, I do think by default men in their brains just think that that's how it's supposed to be. I think so, anyways. So when you come in and you're like, no, I like have my own job and I make my own money, it kind of rustles up some like,
and it's so confusing to me that they still think that way. It does, because
I think it's just hardwired. I don't even know.
And you know what? I think it also, we talked about men like not really having their own personality, but I think for a long time it was kind of encouraged that way, because the only thing that they could provide was providing. Like, the only thing that they could bring to the table was providing. And that's why mothers were the sole caregivers. Dads just came home and were like, hi honey, nice to see you, hi children, like, whatever you're doing. Like, the mom literally was like, you can't really change my mind, that's a single mom still. Like, a lot of times you see these movies, the dad's coming home, he's smoking his pipe on the couch and like barely interacts with the kids still. And because that's a woman's job, quote unquote. So like, if you've never had that like skill, you literally have nothing to bring to the table but a paycheck. And now, if we can have a paycheck, I think this is why a lot of like far-right conservative people are super scared of feminism, because they're like, if women can afford everything, then what are men for? And I'm like, that's a great question.
Honestly.
I'm like, that's a great question. But
really.
But realistically, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I don't think that should scare men. I think it should allow them to find out who they are. And just be that, instead of being like, wait, if you can afford everything. Like, I was watching a debate and somebody was talking about how, like, if a woman is like fully functioning on her own, like, then what does she need a man for? And I'm like, love and affection, like, and everything else that you would want. Like, I don't, if a guy is seeing a woman who's like fully can pay for her own things and like do everything on her own, and he's intimidated by that, it's like, that's scary. Like, why do you not like that I'm fully functioning on my own? And don't get me wrong, like, I can do anything myself. I've put up shelves on my own. I can drill. There's nothing I've ever done that I'm like, oh fuck, I need a man here. Don't get me wrong. If I had a boyfriend, I'd make him do it. It's not that, or we do it together, I'd make him help me with it. You know what I mean? Like, if there's something tall on a shelf, I'm capable of getting a chair and getting on top of the chair and getting what I need. If I have a taller boyfriend and he's there, I'm going to ask him for help. It's not that we don't need them at all. And it's like, I mean, if you're, depending on your, obviously your sexuality or whatever, like, you might not need one at all. Like, it's just like, it's not that we could never use them for help, is what I'm really trying to say. Like, they can obviously be used for help, but I'm fully functioning on my own. And if that's not attractive to you, that scares me. Because why do you want a damsel in distress in 2026? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So I think a lot of them struggle to have personalities outside of literally just whatever they decide masculinity is, which is like, what, catching fish and like playing golf and like hunting, like, And that's why when I said, like, at my school, like, there's, like, 2 types of guys, like, they all have those hobbies. Like, all of them are the same guy on paper, which is why I think it scares them so much when women are so, like, dynamic and have all these things that they like and things that they dislike. Because then they're like, I literally have, like, I have a one-note personality. Right. And it's all, like, a performance for the boys. So, like, I really don't know what I have to offer then if you don't like that.
I do feel like also some men that are intimidated will take it to the level of kind of just not giving up if you're making them more money, but they feel like they can just, like, lax out a little bit.
It's one or the other. It's like either the guys are super intimidated by it and want nothing to do with you, or they're like, oh, thank God you got it covered. Yeah, and then you're mommy.
Right.
Which is like... Which goes so into the thing that I had brought up before, which I'm pretty sure I brought up on this podcast before, so I'm not going to go into it too crazy, but, like, we were talking about last night the Madonna whore complex, which is also why I think traditional marriage is why, like, men might struggle with this, and I think it's largely, like, obviously not on purpose. Like, I'm not saying men are out here like, well, there's women for marrying and there's women for fucking, but I think it's a subconscious thing based on tradition. Yeah. Like, traditionally, you aren't necessarily looking, like, just how women are looking for a guy to provide, not necessarily looking for the hottest one that, like, fits their personality the most. They're looking for a guy that's literally going to bring home money so that they can provide for their kids. A guy is looking for a woman that is going to be a good mother and a good wife and have food ready on the table when he comes home from said job and have the kids clothed and bathed and quiet for him when he needs them to be. So in that tradition, it's really hard to be attracted to the woman that is the mother and the wife for them. And so that's why I feel like we traditionally see, like, cheating, or, like, even if we don't see cheating, we don't really see the most happy, most sexual marriage. Like, a lot of times it's pretty dry, and, like, sex was literally just to have kids, like, and that was it. But that's usually why we see that, like, sway and, like, looking for other women, because it's really hard for the man to be sexually attracted to the person that is the wife and the mother. And which is so weird, and I think a lot of them don't even know it. Like, it's one of those things that you would probably find out in therapy and be like, holy shit, and you have to, like, unpack that. But, like, it's so common that there's a word for it. It's Madonna whore complex. So the Madonna being the mother, the mom, the wife, like, the virgin, like, beautiful, like, you can't be my sweet innocent wife and also be, like, the freak in the sheets. Like, you can't be both. Like, obviously you can. As a woman, we're, like, as women in general, as people in general, we're multifaceted. Like, you can do both, but it's kind of hard for them to be like, damn, like, you're the mother of my kids, I can't, like, clap your cheeks like that. It's like I can't do that. So then they have to go find a whore that's literally just for sex. Like, oh, and I think that's why a lot of times, like, I know it's, like, kind of the stereotypical thing that men say when they're like, it's just sex, it didn't mean anything. I think that it's possible for them to just have sex without meaning anything. We talked about that last night when it's like, oh, I could have sex with a girl I don't find attractive if she has a nice butt. And it's like, I think that they literally can do that without it meaning anything, but it does mean something to us. So no matter what, it does mean something. But to them, they're like, oh, it was literally just, I just needed to, like, get that out. But it's like, that's not how it works. You can't have a woman for sex and a woman for, like, you know what I mean? You can't have your cake and eat it too and think that you're doing something. But I think that is, I feel like that's largely stemming from, like, traditional relationships. And marrying for, once again, marrying for a skill in a role rather than like actually having compatibility with somebody. And obviously, once again, like I said before, like, you can have both. Like, you can have, like, a traditional relationship where you guys are genuinely in love with each other as people. I'm just saying, I think traditional relationships have kind of muddied that water to where people are like, which one are we marrying for? And so I think there are people that are looking for, because I know girls that, like, you ask, this is, I think, a really good way that you can ask or find out what type of relationship someone's looking for is ask them what their type is. Like, ask them what their type is, and if they're naming physical attributes and financial attributes, they're looking for the traditional relationship. If they're naming personality traits and, like, hobbies and such, they're looking for a partnership. I think that that's a really quick way to find, and even find out what you're looking for in somebody.
Right.
And once again, I'm not saying you can't have both. Like, obviously, like, as much as you might want a partnership, you also want somebody that you're physically attracted to.
Right.
But, like, this is, like, it's so much more nuanced than that. But I'm just saying, like, you can notice right off the bat if I'm, like, saying, like, oh, what type of guy are you? He's got to have muscles. He's got to be 6 whatever. I want this and I want this. Like, you are literally looking for somebody to breed with.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's
and then,
true.
You're describing an entity. Like, there's no personality there. That could be, like, a range of guys. You could line up 10 guys with all of those things.
Right.
So, all of them would be good enough for you. And so, in that sense, it's, like, which one's making the most money? Whereas, like, I'm looking for somebody that, like, likes to do what I do. And that being said, there could also be multiple people in that aspect, too. But, like, it still would be way more specific to something that you're specifically looking for. So I think that that's just super interesting to me, because as I've gotten older, I'm realizing, like, yeah, I feel like a lot of people around me are looking for a traditional relationship and settling, and I don't even think that they are looking for it and they're happy with it. I think some of them are, or think they are, but I think this is why we see people get married so young, because they're just like, oh, I need to do the thing I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And they get married in, like, their early 20s. And then later on, they're unhappy. And then, like I said, you want to be with somebody that you would also want to be friends with. And these people, after they do the thing and they have the babies and all the interesting stuff is gone and the babies are all off to college or fully grown adults, and you're in the house with this person, and you're like, would we even be friends if we didn't,
yeah, would we even be friends?
Would we even talk to each other if we didn't just, like, have a bunch of kids and, you know? And it's like, that can also work out. There's so many people that you can just, like, make it work with.
Well,
but
that seems like that's when it starts based off physical attraction.
Yeah.
And then eventually you get to know them.
Well, even providing.
Yeah.
Like, but no, you're right. Eventually you get to know them and it's like, huh?
It's like, wait, do I even like you?
And that's so scary to me, where I'm like...
Because you can have a great time for a while.
That's what
right?
I mean.
Like,
and if you're busy with children and, like, work and, like, being whatever, especially if you're getting married in your early 20s, you don't even fully know who you are. Yeah, your frontal lobe's not developed, so, like,
that
25.
one's crazy to me.
So you're getting married at, like, 19, 20, 21, 23, like, and you're getting married then, and then you have all this busy stuff, so it seems you're like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, I have 2 kids, I have a husband, like, all the boxes are checked. Like I said, on paper, everything looks good. And then you wake up one day and realize, like, I actually haven't enjoyed any of this.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had fun. Like,
oh,
you know?
Talk about the taxi light.
Oh, okay. So in Sex and the City, for any of you guys who have seen it, there's a chunk of, there's like a part in one of the seasons where, one of the women is talking about, like, the differences in male versus females and, like, how they decide when to get married, and she uses it, like, she uses a metaphor of, like, a taxi light. So, like, taxis put on their light when they're, like, available, so people know, like, oh, I can flag down that taxi. So the idea here is that women they always have their light on, and then they're having somebody come in and deciding if they're the one, and then obviously their light goes off, and then they realize they're not the one, put the light back on, and they're going through that the whole time. They're just trying to find the perfect person. Whereas men always have their light off. Their light is just off. They're not looking. They're just having fun. They're just doing whatever they want to do. And then one day they reach that age. They've been hanging around with their guys all the time, hunting, fishing, like, doing XYZ, doing everything that men do traditionally. And then one day they realize, like, oh shit, I'm that age. Like, a couple of my other friends got married, everyone's settling down, I can't really hang out with just the guys anymore because everyone's married, so I guess it's time for me to settle down. And when they decide that, which is ultimately not them being like, oh, I want to fall in love and get married, it's them being like, oh shit, I should get married.
Yeah.
They put the light on, and the first woman after that is the person that they're going to marry.
Yeah.
Because they're not really looking, they're just kind of like, oh yeah, I guess it's time for me to get married. So they might not get married right away. They might not meet a woman and then literally be like, okay, do you want to get married? But the first woman they date after that is usually going to be the one that they end up marrying because they've decided that they want to get married. And
it's crazy.
It's crazy because we're sitting here like picking and choosing and trying to find the perfect match, and like so many people think like, oh my god, he really loves me, and it's like, it was just time. His light just finally just turned on and you literally walked by. So you know, you have to be careful with that because, you know, I don't know. I feel like asking yourself. I think that's
very accurate.
I think it is accurate, and I think it's, once again, not necessarily on purpose. Like, I don't think that men are like walking around trying to be vindictive, like whatever. I think it's just kind of, once again, I think all this stems from the tradition, and as we move away from that, I think we're gonna see marriage rates actually go up, or maybe marriage rates will stay down, because like marriages, once again, it was an exchange of property, but it also is an exchange of property. Like financially, like it's the merging of two people. Like traditionally, like on paper, it's that. So it's that, but I think we're going to see less rates of divorce if people are getting married, if marriage rate does go up, and more love and more like happy children, more healthy children. I think we're going to see a lot more like just genuine relationships and people that like who are having kids that actually wanted kids and aren't doing it just because they feel like they're supposed to, or they're bored and they don't know what's next, because like that is also a thing where you're literally just like, I feel like there's people in this life who have this idea that there are boxes that they need to check at certain checkpoints in their life. I'm this age, I need to do this. I'm this age, I need to do that. And they check those boxes, and then once those boxes are checked, life is just happening to them. Right. And even in that point, life is just happening to them. And then there's people who don't believe that, and I believe life is literally just one huge experiment. Like, you are literally having fun and experimenting with things and seeing who you are and like finding yourself. And I don't have, and I think that's why I don't, we talked about last night, like neither one of us really feel like we have that like ticking time clock that like women are always talking about, where it's like, I'm running out of time, like blah blah blah. One, I don't want children, but even if I did, I don't feel like I'd feel rushed to do it. I just feel like if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. And if it does, then it does. But I don't feel like it's like something I need to do. But I feel like I'm just having fun and just kind of going with what happens. And because of that, like, I'm just not in a rush.
Okay, see, so also with that, so back then when they did arranged marriages.
Yeah.
I think a huge difference now is women never had the idea of, I just want to have fun and do whatever I want.
No, yeah.
It was very much so like, I will get married and I will have kids. Very narrow, straight path.
Because they were literally, they didn't have a choice. Like, they were literally handed off. And then it's like, here's, you do what you need to do. Like,
so now we have a choice. And that's why a lot of people are traveling more. Yeah. And then the guys are also realizing, like, okay, like, I guess this is what we're doing. Like, now I want to just travel. Yeah. And everyone wants freedom.
And I think that's why birth rates are going down, too, which is also scaring, like, super conservative people. But I don't think that's scary. I don't think children need to be born who aren't wanted. Right. I don't think they need to be born yet if they're not wanted yet. And people might just be having them later, too, or people might just be deciding not to have them. I don't want people, like, brought into existence just because it was a box to check. Right. Well, we want 3 kids, 2 girls, 1 boy. Yeah. Like you can't even choose that. Right. So like you have to just kind of go with it. And I feel like I see the people that I see have the most genuine relationships are like that. And like I said, I was talking to you last night, I was like, I've seen relationships on the internet that are partnerships, but they look traditional on the outside, which is totally fine. I just feel like everybody should be in more of a partnership where you have somebody that's on your side, like, that's doing things for you as much as you're doing things for them. Yes. And you guys are your own individual people outside of each other. But you just choose to be together every day because you love each other so much. Right. To me, that's what love is. And I think for a long time, love was not really something that was real. It was more of like a thing that you just had to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why people's definition of love is all over the place, because for the longest time, like, it really wasn't real. Like, it was just like, love was a choice. It's like, oh, I'm choosing to love this person because this is who I'm with. And that's why you see those, like, old couples that, like, don't even like each other, because a lot of them maybe didn't get divorced because they're really against it, or just chose not to. And and they just, like, get old and are mad at each other because they're like, I've never been happy.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that is what makes people pickier nowadays, is because we really do have a choice. And as soon as you're not, I guess, quote unquote, good enough or lacking, we're like, okay, well, there's like 7 billion people in the world.
And I don't think there's a problem with that. I love that. I'd rather be, like, choosy and whatever. And I feel like people have this idea that you can be, like, too picky. And I'm like, I mean, there is a point where it's like, if you're sitting here being like, he has to be 6'4" and, like, also get this much money, it's like, you can want that, but, like, how specific are we getting? You know what I mean? But I do think that there's not really a thing as being, like, too choosy or too picky, because it's like, it's who you're gonna spend the rest of your life with. Yeah. Like,
so I think running through people, like, you know, testing who is, you know.
Yeah. And seeing who's good, and, like, just having fun with it too, just hanging out with people. Like, don't stress yourself out. Like, people are like, I've heard so many people talk about, like, dating scenes, and they're like, I'm so sick of dating. I'm like, why are you dating then?
Right.
Just stop. Like, why is dating a full-time job that you're doing? Why is it something?
Really is.
Why is it something that you're forcing yourself through? Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I've been dating. I keep going on these dates, and I keep trying, and it's like, relax. Like, just take a deep breath.
Right.
Like,
or the constant swiping.
Like, why are you trying to hire a husband? No, literally, why are you trying to hire somebody to take, like, to be in the role of husband?
Right.
That's really what the traditional marriage is like, somebody to take the role of husband and someone to take the role of wife.
Like you said, most of these guys aren't even ready.
No.
So you're like waiting, and you're going through these guys thinking that they're ready, but they're just going on dates just to go on dates. And then I feel like that's why the guy courting you for a long period of time is more important. Yeah. Because it's showing that he's ready and he wants it.
I think it's honestly, like, people are like, oh, it's so hard to tell. I think it's really easy to tell if somebody is, like, genuinely interested in you as a person or not. Yeah. Like, I think it's pretty easy to tell, and I think you can, I don't think it has to be exhausting, and I don't think you have to wait, like, months to figure out, like, obviously, things can always just not work out eventually. But, I think that, like, I mean, obviously you can have somebody that's, like, really compatible with you, and then things just don't work out. But I think that overall you can tell if somebody, like, is interested in you as a person, or if they're just like, oh, this is, like, something for right now. This is something to fill a void for right now.
Which I feel like it is most of the time.
It is, and I think it's just because everyone's lonely, but also seeking true connection, which is such, like, a crazy crossover. Right. Because then you end up in that, like, once again, like, swiping cycle on Tinder, and then also you're looking for true love, but it's like, if you're looking for true love, you probably shouldn't be on Tinder, because it's a hookup app.
Which most of the people on Tinder, like, don't even get out of Tinder. No. Like, they don't go on the dates.
No. I fully am, like, never going to go on a dating app again. I always say never because you just don't know. But, like, if I did, and this is what I truly believe dating apps should be for, is making a plan to meet. And that's it. Okay, like, looking at each other's profile. Your profile is supposed to tell you enough if you like that, if you think you would be interested in, like, meeting that person in person. Yeah. Like, that's all the profile is for, is to be like, do I like you in person? You should not be messaging for weeks on end with somebody before you meet them. Right. Like, because I feel like it creates this weird in-between where it's like, okay, we've been talking for weeks, but I also haven't met you in person, and you finally meet them in person. It's, like, weird because you're kind of close with them already because you've been talking to them for weeks, but you also are trying to get to know them in person now. Like, the first message on a dating app maybe could be like, hi, hello, like, obviously, like, I think you're really cute, or I like this thing that you said in your profile. After that, it needs to be like, okay, did you want to meet for coffee? Like, after that, like, it should not be like, oh, like, tell me about yourself. No, we can do that in person.
Right.
Like, let's tell each other about each other in person. If you are the type of person to get on a dating app and talk for weeks, stop that shit right now, because it's not working. It's not working. It's not, even if you like both think you're like really like each other, like, it's just creates this awkward in between where like some of those things need to, once again, bring up my word of the year, analog, like some of those things need to just happen naturally and in person, because once we have this like tech wall between us, it's so weird to get out of it. It's so hard to get out of like the, okay, well, he told me this over text, and I know about his sister and like all this other stuff. And I mean, maybe there's people that disagree with me, but I've always felt like there's just kind of like this weird like thing.
Then if you never meet up, you just know a bunch of shit about a bunch of random people.
Yeah.
That like,
and it's like, just meet up and know and see the vibe, because sometimes somebody's vibe is completely different. And also, I just feel like it's awkward to finally meet after talking for so long. Like even a week is like too much. I feel like you literally just need to meet and call it a day, because at the end of the day, you're going to meet anyway. So just meet and call it a day and see if you like the energy, because I feel like we need to see if we like somebody's energy first.
I know.
Like, and foremost. So it's like, I liked your energy online, let's meet in person. Let's not like keep texting.
I liked your energy online.
Like, let's not just keep talking online, because what is that gonna do?
That's why I like meeting people organically in person. But.
Yeah, because also then you have real life conversations where you don't have like, ooh, how do I respond to this? Right. And then you start asking your friends, and which is nothing wrong with that, with like text here and there. Like if you've already met somebody and then they text you something and you're like, oh, how should I respond? But like meeting somebody, like the what do you like to do for fun? And then it's like, now I'm like, what do I like to do for fun? And then you're thinking about it and you're like, wait, what are the coolest things I do, so I can text them the coolest, rather than just being in person and just being like, oh, like seeing maybe a clip on their bag for like an event, and you're like, oh, what was that event? Like, you know what I mean? Like having natural conversation that like just rolls off. So I don't know, overall that was basically my theory of like, there's two types of relationships, and I think what you said is super like accurate in the fact that like right now we're in between the two, and nobody really, I feel like that's why there's such a mess of like, there's still a bunch of traditional people, and there's still a bunch of people that kind of want partnerships, but they don't even really know what that is and what that looks like. And then there's people that are kind of confused because they're taught to look for like a companion, like somebody that can do something for them, but they also want like true love, which is so hard to like kind of shop for both. Like,
I think also like nobody knows what they want anymore, and everybody's confused. But back then you weren't allowed to be confused or
it was actually easy, because it was just like,
here, like, this is who you're marrying.
Guy likes you, ask the dad.
But now it's like we have so many choices, and everyone's just confused on what they really want and when they want it. Like we have so much freedom of timelines and choice.
Exactly. It's like the fig tree allegory all over again, where it's like there's too many options, so you just sit and let all the figs rot around you. Right. And it's like, wait. But really, you just need to like, I feel like it's a lot of journaling and a lot of inner work. I feel like people that are like, I don't know, or like whatever, it's literally just like, you need to ask yourself, like, who are you? What is the type of person that would go really well with the type of personality that you have? Not who are you the most attracted to, because I mean, if you know who you're attracted to, that's fine, but that's like something that you can figure out on the other end. Like once you figure out the personality that you're attracted to, then from the group of people with that personality, you can find the most attractive one to you. Right. But if you just have like an attraction and that's it, and you don't know what kind of personality you want, you could end up with somebody completely fucked up.
Yeah, that's true.
You could end up with literally somebody completely fucked up, but just because everything that was on your list was physical or goal oriented. So there's like 10 different people, and you pick the most attractive one, but then you realize like his personality is like either non-existent, sucks, or he's like rude. Like, you don't want any of that.
Okay, so I do not do the whole dating app thing, but the only reason why or benefit to it that my brain can think of is the fact that you can see a glimpse of what they are like at the same time as their physical.
I agree.
Because
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
In person, I'm always going to go to physical first.
Right, and that's
because
natural.
You're not gonna
no, that's natural.
You're not gonna like walk up to someone who's like mid to you or not that attractive and then start talking to them and then be like, oh wait, I like their personality. But that's why maybe, like you said, being friends with someone, and then later on finding the physical attraction throughout the...
I also do think attraction can change too. There's so many people that I've known and like not been like typically attracted to. Like when people ask what my type is, I always say I don't really have one. Yeah. And then I say like I surprise myself with the people that I've been attracted to, which sounds kind of bitchy, but like genuinely not in like a way that I'm like, oh, you're busted, and then I'm like, oh, it's weird, I'm attracted to you because you're ugly. I don't mean it like that. I just mean like somebody that I wouldn't necessarily approach, but then I like we're in a group of people and then I learn their personality and I'm like, wait, they're kind of like their mannerisms, and then I'm like, wait, they're kind of like hot.
But that's like
and
the
it's
best
so
way.
That is
or
the best
only way because if
really
I'm out, I'm approaching you first based off personality, and then come to learn, or based off of appearance, and then come to learn, I'm like, ew, your personality actually sucks. Yeah. And so now I've just wasted a little bit of time because,
and then that's why like the physical, just being on the physical is like, I'm not saying that it doesn't matter because I know people are like, oh, looks don't matter. I think that they matter to an extent. Obviously, if you're not physically attracted to somebody, you're not going to have a good relationship with them. Like, and it's not fair to be with somebody just because they have a great personality and are a good person, but you don't like them. Right. Like, that's not fair. Right. So I do think it matters to some extent, but I don't think it should be the highlight of what we're looking for, because there's always an attractive person in a group of the type of personality that you're looking for. That's what I mean. Like, I'd rather have, if somebody's like, oh, you can choose from these people, I'd rather have a lineup of people that mesh with my personality, and then from that group be able to pick the most attractive one, than have a people that mesh with like what I think my perfect person looks like, and then pick one and then not know what their personality is, and then it's like,
and you're like, shit.
Oh, like, fuck, I'm bored. Like, all you do is golf. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like the thing of reality TV. All of those people on there are like pretty much physically attractive, whether it's from your opinion or the people in the show's opinions. But they all have like zero personality.
And it 100%. It muddies the water.
This one guy, I was watching Perfect Match, and she said something like, tell me about yourself. Oh, I cannot verbatim say this, but I had to rewind it and be like, did he actually just say that? So he said like some pretty like boring basic stuff, and then he goes, what did he, he didn't say I'm also very shallow, but what did he say? He said something where he's also like, he said something where he's like, I'm very surface level.
That's crazy.
And I was like, you're promoting that to people?
That's crazy work. That's like, crazy work to be like,
Like, he was like, I like this, and I'm also very surface level. And I was like, I rewinded it, and I was like, you're just like telling people that that's what you, who wants?
No, literally.
What?
Literally.
And you're proud?
That's what I'm telling you, Kai. Like, this is what I mean. Like, some people are like, oh, okay.
Like, yeah, the girl like responded. She was like, okay.
Yeah, some people are like literally looking for that, and I think that it can once again be traditional in other aspects, not necessarily of like gender roles of like cooking, cleaning, providing, but it could be literally traditional in the sense of like, I want a big, tall, muscular man, and it's like, okay, congrats, that's like a bunch of different guys,
right?
But what do you want him to be like? You know what I mean? Like, once again, not saying that you cannot have like things that you want physically out of a partner, but if you're pigeonholing yourself to that, you might have a lineup of a bunch of people that suck.
Yeah.
If that's like your end all be all, you might have a lineup of a bunch of people that suck and have no fucking personality. So overall, that is my theory.
Yes.
And we're coming up on the end of the episode, so do you have any last things that you wanted to say?
I don't think so. Yeah. I think we could do so many pods in different angles of relationships.
Oh, we've
done them before.
It's like a never-ending thing. So,
but I think for that, we got it pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, so let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, and then catch us on the next one.
Yeah. See you guys.